One sector which has been badly hit due to the lockdown is the e-commerce industry, despite central and state authorities both coming together to try and resolve issues over the supply of essential services. E-commerce platforms are still struggling. Also, many states have banned food delivery services. Mugdha Warrior joins us now with more. Mugdha, a lot of the issues both the centre and the state had tried to resolve between last night and today. What's the situation? Are e-commerce companies finally back in business?
E-commerce companies such as Flipkart, Big Basket, Grofers, Milk Basket all started resuming their operations either late Wednesday or early Thursday morning. But really there has been very little progress on the ground because, despite the move from state and central authorities to work with e-commerce companies, challenges still remain on the ground. The first being that a lot of these companies are sitting on a big pile of backlog of orders which are running into lakhs of orders, and they really have to first fulfill, those deliveries first. In fact, Big Basket today told customers that it is completely booked for the next 7 days in cities such as Mumbai and Bangalore, and in other cities such as Delhi, Gurgaon, Hyderabad, etc. it will be operational only in the next few days. So really no new orders on Big Basket. In fact, several other e-commerce companies are also facing similar issues. And one main issue for e-commerce companies is the thin delivery staff that they're working with right now. In fact, they're saying a lot of delivery partners are now scared to come out and come to work and make deliveries because of the police action that they've seen on delivery staff across several areas in the country over recent days. And even third-party courier and logistic partners that e-commerce companies work with have shut operations temporarily. So that has really impacted e-commerce operations quite significantly. And lastly, while state and police authorities have moved to distribute curfew passes to all the personnel working with essential services at e-commerce companies, this is really becoming a challenge. E-commerce companies say that this is not scalable for e-commerce companies that have to now get passes across different districts in the countries for all of their staff. In fact, they're now reaching out to authorities to say that they should digitize this whole process of giving out curfew passes, and in fact also use something like digital QR-based applications for the process. And while e-tailers such as Flipkart, Amazon, etc. now are in the clear in terms of regulations from the government, food tech companies are again being clamped down on by several states. In fact, states such as Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa and several others have continued to ban delivery of food deliveries by companies such as Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats, etc. And these companies now are working with authorities there to get permission. So yes, a lot of challenges still remain for e-commerce companies. Things should stabilize only in a few days is what we understand from industry sources.
One of the things that there's been a lot of conversation about, e-commerce companies stepping up, and it's really heartening to see people doing that. But, if you combine all the capacities of all B2C e-commerce in the country, I mean, it's a very small percentage of what food and grocery actually, is required. So I think one stakeholder that, definitely needs a lot more attention is the Kirana store operator. We're seeing some challenges on the ground in terms of stores, being shut down. Obviously, administration is sort of balancing, between, keeping people indoors in the lockdown. And this is obviously a very critical task.
So I think, given primarily we're involved in transporting goods in large capacity trucks. So if you leave out the essentials, which typically contribute to 30-40% of the overall Indian economy, the balance 60-70% of the goods are not moving in the country. And given like Blackbuck is typically more a trucker first centric organization, I think most of our truckers do not have jobs to move goods today as we speak.
Most important things that the authorities could do right now is to rapidly digitize this process. I think physical passes, for instance, in the few cities where you've had to deal with them have been complicated. I think if there's an ability to provide digital manifests, if there's an ability to provide digital proof that we are carrying essential goods and services, it will just be much faster for us to get these goods to where they have to go. Second thing that the government should think about, of course, is to allow companies like us and like Blackbuck to self-certify or upload a list of the people who are working with us or working for us, so that these can be pre-certified as opposed to actually having to go to every local station.
Well, that's the wish list there from the logistics business, digital passes to try and avoid this business of getting physical passes, self-certification. Let's hope the centre and the state take those suggestions